It's time, folks. Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel. And today we're going to be looking at Chase Elliott's 2023 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Hendrick Motorsports. What a wild year to be a Chase Elliott fan, you guys. There have been a lot of crazy events with Chase Elliott. The snowboarding accident, the incident at Charlotte. Man, what a crazy year to be a Chase Elliott fan. Of course, Chase Elliott is the driver that I root for in the NASCAR Cup Series. I root for several drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series, but of course, Chase Elliott is the primary favorite on my favorite drivers list. A really, really cool new Napa livery. It is Judgment Day, folks. And it's a big deal because this is the new Napa car. This is the paint scheme as a Chase Elliott fan that I will see for a majority of the season, including the Daytona 500, which is now past. And after seeing this car race after race this year, I gotta say, I really like this Napa livery. You know, usually I would be pretty critical of my favorite driver's paint schemes. Because, you know, it's my favorite driver. I want the paint schemes to look as good as it can be. Look as good as they can look. And I say this one definitely does it for me. I really, really like this car. And a lot of Chase Elliott fans will agree. This is a really, really cool Napa livery for the Chase Elliott fans. And any NASCAR diecast collector. There's people that like Napa cars the way I like Valvoline cars. And they're going to be like, hey, man, I want to see how the paint scheme is going to look this year. It's just one of those things you get curious about. When you have a favorite driver, you're wondering what their paint scheme will look like for the next season. Will it change? Will it stay the same? And thankfully, Chase Elliott has had several different Napa liveries over the years. And you guys are probably wondering, before I start this diecast review, why? You're probably asking me, if you're a Chase Elliott fan, why are you not reviewing a lot of his diecasts? There's like barely any Chase Elliott's on this channel. And I'm going to respond to that with A, there's too many of them, and B, if I were to just review the Chase Elliott cars, there's so many that there would be no variety of drivers. You know, I want to get a good variety of the drivers. There's just too many Chase Elliott diecasts. I'll try to review more of them this season. But man, there's just so many of them. I know you guys want my opinions on a lot of these paint schemes, but yeah, there's a reason for it. You know, there's so many Chase Elliott's that I'm probably going to miss out, and because I don't really have that much time nowadays, especially with high school and all that, summer is finally here, obviously, but, you know, it really wasn't that much time, and if I were to just review only Chase Elliott's, it seemed like, okay, you know, this guy's a Chase Elliott fan, he only wants to review Chase Elliott, and he doesn't care about the other drivers. I really don't want that for myself on this channel. I want to have good varieties, a good variety of diecasts to review that are different drivers. So yeah, I just want to make that known. So let's get this diecast out of the box. I can finally get to review this one, if the box will let me open. Get inside of this thing. There we go. Did it without ripping the box. So let's get this one out. And I gotta say, here is Chase Elliott's 2023 livery. Let's zoom in on it now that the diecast is out of the box. This is the first time I'm opening this thing since I got it a couple of days ago, a week ago. And I gotta say, having it in my hands, finally, it's quite exciting. I really do love this livery. I love how it's different from last year's. Very different from last year's. Maybe not too much different color-wise, but the template is definitely what makes this different than last year's car. Just a really, really cool diecast right here for the Chase Elliott collectors. Definitely cool. I like the royal blue color. I will say this, though. Before I start the review, there's something really big I want to get out of the way with this one. I do like how they're not doing that weird sparkly blue finish like they usually used to do back in 2018 and 19 with Chase Elliott diecast. They used to have like this really funky metallic, like fake metallic look to them, which did not look good. But here is what I think they should do with these cars. So if Lionel Racing's watching this video, whoever's doing the templates for these diecasts and choosing the paint colors and whatever else, this is how the metallic blue should look. Look at this Jimmy Johnson car here, right? Look at how that metallic blue looks. Imagine that metallic blue as the base coat for this car. Just imagine like this car with a properly done metallic. How cool that would look. That would really elevate the look in my opinion. So here's the front of the car. You got a yellow number 9 with a blue outline and Hendrick Motorsports. Got Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. You have the ZL1 Napa with the hood vents. The new style hood vents for the Chevrolets. You have the Chevrolet banner with Elliott's name. Sunoco right there. You have Goodyear, the dark gray rims for the wheels. You have Goodyear NASCAR Cup Series, the 75th anniversary logo. You got number 9, Chase Elliott, Napa, Lumar, Hooters, Chevrolet, Exalta, Cincinnati, Climb, Freightliner, Hooters, Mack Tools, and Siemens. You have auto parts right there. You got Kelly Blue Book, Valvoline, and Unifirst. And one thing about the newer next-gen cars, the little exhaust ports kind of have a different look to them. See how like that hood vent? Not the hood vent. What am I saying? Hood vents. The exhaust right there kind of has a different style. It's in the same place, but just the decal just looks a little bit better than usual. Here's the back right there. You have Valvoline, which the Valvoline little logo is crooked. You got Chevrolet, number 9. Napa, get up and go. That's their new slogan right there. Kind of cool. ZL1 Camaro. Everyone says the back of this looks like a rookie stripe. And honestly, looking at it, that is a big yellow bumper right there. Instead of just leaving the whole bumper blue like they usually are doing with this car every year, they actually painted it yellow and added some white stripes in there. I'm really a fan of how they painted the back of this thing with the full paint scheme. Not only is the back bumper blue, but it actually has details of the Napa livery on it. With the yellow and white on there, makes the bumper much better to look at than just a plain black or a plain blue bumper. You have the black spoiler with the bolts in it right there. You have Napa Auto Parts, Elliott's, and then you have at the Napa Network. Dude, I don't even know what the Napa Network thing is. This must be like a new social media platform or something for Napa. At the Napa Network. Kind of cool to have it on this car, though, I must say. Kind of makes the roof look less bland. And, of course, you got the number 9 on the roof. And now for the paint scheme. It's that royal blue color that I mentioned before. Of course, the little ethanol ring right there. Yeah, I would have really wished for this thing to be metallic. That would have made the whole thing pop out much more. And you could have even made the blue and the number 9 metallic as well if you wanted to. Now for the paint scheme itself, let's look at the numbers. So you have the dark blue outline, the white outline, and the yellow number fill-in. Actually, you know what? The blue in the background, the first outline is really a shadow. And then you have the white outline and then the yellow number fill-in with a bit of a thin blue outline to it. Really cool. Really sharp-looking 9 for the roof. I actually love how that looks. Instead of it just being a white number 9, it's a yellow number 9. Gives it a bit more blue and yellow, like what the sponsor is. It's a blue and yellow Napa car. You have a yellow outline, a white outline, and a blue number fill-in. The yellow is really more of a shadow. But yeah, really cool to have a blue number 9 on the door, and of course a yellow number 9 on the roof. And the yellow number 9 is going to be under the headlights and taillights. Actually, the back is going to have the one it used to have on the roof with the white number fill-in right there. And now for the paint scheme itself. Of course, they're all going to have the black side skirts unless you're a smaller team. You won't be able to paint over those for whatever reason. I wish they would just paint over them all the time. It would just make it look better. I got a black spoiler back here. Black splitter out front here. And this is where the details are going to start to show. So you have a bit of a yellow stripe under the front fascia. Really cool how they designed these paint schemes around the front fascia where they just go around the outlines of the grille and stuff. Really nice. Got really thin yellow stripes where it has the Sunoco logo underneath the fake vents of the Chevy Camaro NASCAR. Then, of course, you have some blue from the hood. It kind of goes in between the details of the paint scheme, so you're going to have a bit of blue on the front still. And then, of course, you're going to have the white wrap around the OEM details on the front corners right here. And then you're going to go across the side, and the white is just going to carry over the wheel wells. And then, of course, go towards the top of the car right here. It goes from the A-pillar, from the sides to the A-pillar to half of the roof right there. Of course, you're going to have yellow stripes on it, so that yellow stripe from the Sunoco logo is going to go past the wheel well and get a corner piece right there. from the wheel well. And then, of course, you're going to have a space right there. You're going to have a little bit of blue right there with that stripe. You got the yellow little corner of the window right there. That's quite interesting how it doesn't line up as good. This side lines up better than the other. I mean, look how that looks. Usually where the mirror would go on a production car. But it's kind of crooked. But that's yellow to point that out. You got a bit of yellow even like between the windows right here. Like heading into the windows, a really tiny little yellow detail right there. And of course the blue is going to continue up there as well. So when you look at these front parts of the A-pillars, you could still see the blue and yellow there. Really, really interesting how that works out. And then, of course, we're going to go back to the white. So the white's pretty much going to match the front half of the paint scheme. It's just not going to be on the roof, or it only gets a part of the nose, just the corners of it. But you're going to have those really cool-looking Napa stripes. They have this, like, new theme with the stripes, where they have, like, a little bit, it's like a wedge-shaped thing. A wedge-shaped round, like, one side is round and one side is, like, a spike. That stripe is going to wrap all the way across the roof, and it's going to stop and meet up with the little stripe right there. And of course, you're going to have the Napa logo, which the stripe takes the shape of the side of the Napa logo, which is really cool. Gives it a really cool shape. I love how the paint scheme kind of just, it's designed around the logo, which is what I really like about the Napa paint schemes. Of course, the auto part's going to be, auto is white, parts is yellow. And then, of course, the next to the rear quarter windows, which have the outline to it, you can see like the white outline for the decal. Under the Valvoline, you have a thick yellow stripe and a white thin stripe with a very thin blue space in the middle. It kind of looks like Corvette Grand Sport stripes, which I really like that. Got some Chevrolet elements kind of mixed into the Napa, which I really like. I mean, you're sponsoring a Chevrolet, make it look like a Chevrolet. And it looks like they've done that with those two Grand Sport looking stripes. And then, of course, lastly, the bumper. So the yellow is pretty much going to take the shape of the bumper. It's just going to be a little bit more, like, edgier at the corners right there. So you can still see kind of the blue corners of the bumper. And the yellow is just going to completely take the shape of the bumper. And then the white stripes are going to go through where the ZL1 is. And under the number 9 right here, it's going to have two thin blue outlines to it with a white stripe in the middle. And then the rest of it's all yellow. Would have been cool to make Camaro blue, or what? Not white. White would be kind of hard to see. If they made Camaro, if they made that like blue, that would have been better than just leaving it black. But, you know, it still looks good. Camaro with a yellow bumper to it. Really cool. To be rookie stripes, it would actually have to be boxy. This is just more of like a design element, more than like a indicator stripe. And really, that's the paint scheme. And, of course, the top of it, you know, half of it's going to be white with that yellow stripe from the sides. And then, of course, the half of it's going to be dark blue right there. And, of course, the black roof rails on this car. And that is going to be Chase Elliott's 2023 Napa Auto Parts livery for Hendrick Motorsports. I got to say, I really, really like this paint scheme. I really approve of it. And every time Chase Elliott gets new paint schemes for, like, his primary sponsor, like Napa, I always get vibes of when I was a Mark Martin fan growing up. Whenever he had a new paint scheme, I was like, man, I can't wait to see what the next one looks like. And, of course, it comes out and it's beautiful, like from the Valvoline car from 1999, and then it updates to 2000 with the all-white look. Those are the type of vibes I'm getting out of this car. The vibes I get are just from that. You know, Mark Martin was my original favorite driver. And, you know, to see him with different paint schemes every year was really exciting. So, you know, this is a really cool diecast. It gets a 360 view. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, you're definitely going to want to have this. And, of course, you stop motion makers, you have a new look for the number 9, so make sure you collect this one. It's a really cool diecast. I like it a lot. It's just really cool. I like the blue and yellow Napa livery. However, I do wish they would change it, like for when it's Napa Night Vision or Napa Brakes. Like, paint the whole car different colors. So, like, when it's like Napa Brakes, you could probably have it like all black with the yellow. Whatever happened to those special designs? Why don't they bring those back? Those looked fantastic. I remember it was like Napa lamp, the Night Vision one was gold, and then there's another blue and yellow one that I'm thinking of. If I could see it from here, let me try to look for that car so I can explain that to you guys. The filters one, that's the one. So like for Napa filters, like instead of just leaving it the blue and white, Napa filters should have yellow here. and then like white as the stripe. Do something different for when he has a different side sponsor. Or like with Valvoline, make it like a Valvoline looking paint scheme. I mean, instead of just running this one all the time. But that's just my honest opinion. And if he wins races this year, which is quite doubtful, I really hope he does win races this year. But if he does, and he does it multiple times, and it's with this Napa car, we're going to see a lot of this paint scheme, just like the other one. I literally now ended up with like 16 different Napa blue and yellow cars, thanks to all his race versions, version diecast. The race versions always... They just, when they're the same paint scheme, it kind of makes it hard to tell which one is which. That's how I accidentally bought 2 Atlanta wins. But yeah, you know, it's really cool. His other sponsors, such as Kelly Blue Book, Lumar, Hooters, they're going to have different paint schemes. Except Kelly Blue Book was the same, Lumar was different, Hooters is definitely going to be the coolest one. The Night Owl one. UniFirst is the same. Yeah, I just like it when they change these paint schemes. Like, UniFirst and Kelly Blue Book really should have come up with a new scheme, but, you know, it is what it is. And that is going to be it. So, yes, I approve of this Napa paint scheme. It's a 10 out of 10. I like this new Napa design for 2023. For Chase Elliott, what do you guys think of this car? In the comment sections down below, let me know what you guys think. And that is going to be it for the 2023 Napa paint scheme review for Chase Elliott. So, please comment, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos here on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing. We are running way past the runtime, usual runtime for diecast reviews, like 16 minutes long. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to end this here. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast.